video. In today's video, we will look at a scenario in which Israel and Syria go to war. As we know, in real life, in Syria is having a civil war, but part of a big chunk of Syria, about here, is occupied by Israel. Again, Turkey occupies an area to the north, and the Kurds, but yeah. And Syria and Israel will go to war in today's video as Israel attempts to move the area it occupies from here out and closer to the capital and north along Lebanon's border to protect Israel from the Syrian government, basically. Well, they do that, and then Syria and Israel go to war, which quickly triggers the axis of resistance. Which is a military alliance between Iran, Lebanon, and Syria. And it's not the best, but to get access, they force Iraq to join the war. Iraq joins the war on the exception they are allowed to invade Kuwait, and that Iran will defend it. Because this will help send more needed oil for the war effort of Iran, because Kuwait is full of oil. And a few other things. It also would give Iraq more coastline. Kuwait has sent help from the Saudi Arabia, but the help is pretty much not that great. After seeing Iran march through it, Saudi Arabia declares war. With a stalemate being created on the border area-ish, after Saudi Arabia manages to push Iraq and Iran back, to the north. With Palestine seeing an opportunity in this, so Palestine joins the war. With Israel basically at war with all of this area. They move and encircle Damascus, which they use to invade further into Syria. And the southern push into Syria is a success. But this is where Iranian forces arrive, and they push the Israelis back. Not that well. With Palestine declaring war and stating they are being oppressed, only to be oppressed again. Yeah. A failed attempt to invade Iraq, far into Iraq, deep into Iraq, all the way towards Baghdad is a failure. They moved to encircle the city, but this push was, for the most part, a failure. With them being pushed back from the city, the goal was to take the city, but they still managed to occupy land, but not where the oil is, in Kuwait. Which is, with Israel, basically, noticing one thing interesting happens. In this war, something interesting is going to happen with a Kurdish rebellion. To prevent this from crossing the border, which it does, it crosses into Iraq. To prevent this from crossing the Turkish border, Turkey takes matters into its own hands, founding the Golden Team. Yep, there's a green team, which is having negotiations with Israel about joining Israel's team, Saudi Arabia, because it's just the most logical way, or getting back at their enemy, Iran. With them now heading towards putting the Peninsula Shield Force into the war, which goes quick to happen. With Turkey pretty much invading where the Kurdish rebellion took place, as the rebellions do continue to move around But eventually they do capture it, and they refuse to give the lands back, getting war declared on them, so they help Israel. They join Israel's team now because they have war declared on, along with Azerbaijan, who's going to help them because, yeah, Azerbaijan does. Saudi Arabia and the Peninsula Shield Force is meeting with them about what to do next. But so far, no decisions have been made. So far. But Turkey does make its first invasion of Iran, of this northern piece of Iran, which they use to their advantage to move over here, which allows them to connect with Iran. And they use this to move further into Iraq, and they move into northern Syria before they get stalemate. With Israel moving back and taking back the city of Damascus, which this looks like the last blow to them. With Iran in a state of panic, basically. With Israel, Saudi, and the Peninsula Shield Force all agreeing to join the same team to fight Iran and allies. And Russia is supporting the blue team, whereas America is supporting the red team. But America is being America, which is probably sending weapons. Same as Russia probably is. With their liberation of Kuwait being so good, they managed to cut Iraq off from the coast and move into Khuzestan, Iran's oil-rich region, with most of Iran's oil. And Syria starts collapsing. And so does Iraq. With Turkey and the Peninsula Shield Force meeting in Baghdad as they take the city. With Syria surrendering, same with Iraq eventually. With a movement here, a movement over here, and a movement down here towards capital city. With all these movements going pretty well, and they meet up. And they all move into Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. They use this to take Iran's capital, and the fall of Iran happens, basically. With half of Iran falling, quickly after, Iran is overthrown by its people due to its failing war effort against Israel. And the views of this new government is pretty pro-Israel. They signed a peace treaty, and that's the end of the war. Now it's time for the peace treaty. The Treaty of Jerusalem, where Israel annexes some lands and Iran is punished, and its new government is put totally in charge. Time for now to see the peace treaty. With the goal being to get the Middle East all to be allies, which Jordan and Egypt quickly join after a treaty. Kuwait has become an oil monster now. Who would believe that Kuwaiti oil land? I guess Kuwait's oil land. Now to finish this video. Kuwait is bad. Gets kicked out of the Middle East Pact as they got a dictator. The Americans heard there's oil. So, yeah. We'll finish this video on a realistic point. I think they messed up. Don't they know the number one rule? Don't tell America you have oil. Ukraine has oil, in fact, but is unable to drill most of it since 2014. As investments didn't do so well after 2014 due to uncertainty, I guess, and invasions. Of Kuwait being cut in two by American invaders, taking all of Kuwait and moving quickly into the oil-rich region that used to be of Iran, Khuzestan. They annexed this as a 51st to 52nd state because you need even numbers. One Democrat, one Republican. Yeah, we'll give them both one. only give them both one seat. Oh. But yeah. As America just annexed Kuwait into its country. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Actually, that's not all for today's video. I forgot one thing. We need to talk about subscribers. We're at 899 subscribers, which is a good thing, I guess, considering how far we've come. That's big. That's like major exponential and stuff. That's pretty good. We have 101 left to go till our goal of 100 subscribers by August 1st. I mean September 1st. That's all for today's video. Wild Mapper out. Please like and subscribe. Wild Mapper out.